Hi. Now that we've had time to share some of our learning targets, we're going to move on and get right into the work of looking at the teacher and class report. So what I'd like you to do right now is to get your annotated report, your annotated class report. It looks like this. It's from your reports portfolio. And it also has a key. So we're going to look at the class report on page 2 and 3 and possibly reference the key if we need to. So what we'd like to do right now is for you to pull out page 2 and 3 and take a look at it. I'd like you to take a few minutes now and highlight some critical data points that you see here, question marks where you want some clarity, and to reflect a little on the purpose of this report. So here on our slide I have some of the directions, so if you need to reference back here while you're working, take a look up here to circle and highlight, again, the points that need clarity or any questions you have, and to think a little bit about the purpose of your report today. So I'll give you just a couple minutes to work in groups or to work alone, and we'll report out by table in just a few minutes with any questions you have or any areas of clarity you may need. Okay, now that we're ready to start again, let's take a look at some of the questions that you may have. Oh yes, you have a question? Okay, great. Well, let's talk a little bit about mean and median RIT. Take a look at page 2. At the bullet for number 8, it tells you that the mean RIT is 201.7. That means that's the RIT for the class. And that is the average of how all of our students did. If you look at the median, which is the bullet point 9, that score is 201, and that would be the score that was the middle range score for the class for this content area. Also, if you look to the standard deviation, which is number 10, that will tell you the score, the variability of the score. So it's the range of the score. So for this class, the range was 11.2 points on average, from the lowest score to the highest score in the reading area. Also, the standard of error, if you take a look at the bullet point of number 2 on page 2, will tell you the mean standard of error, so it can range from 198 to 204. So the more students that are tested, the closer that standard of error is going to be. It won't be as much error. And then if you look at page 3, we can see that the student breakdown is here, and it too has the information you'll need for the RIT, for how that student performed in that range, their percentile, and their Lexile range. So let's take a look at that. For your resources, you can use Lexile.com, and many of you already have Lexile materials in your classroom that you may want to use, but this will give you an idea of the range that that child is in. And then, of course, you can see here the duration of the test, how long it took the student to complete that test. So if you'll take out your Essential Reports note catcher now, we will note a few things about this report on here and its uses, and how you might be able to use this report and some of the key ideas that you gleaned from this report. Let's just take a couple minutes to do that. Now that we've finished that, some of the predictions that we're making about how you think your class did, will your class be above or below the norm? Will your standard deviation be higher in some classes than the other? How closely do the results match other assessment results? You can take those predictions, and we're going to put them in part of our workbook activity for exploring your teacher and your class report as well. Does anyone else have any other questions? Okay, great. All right, then we are going to go ahead and move on to interpreting and applying our teacher and class reports.